This is Sports Talk Podcast, episode 9, and I have a good friend of mine with me. She's from my town, pretty good basketball player, I should say. I've known her since she was little. Uh, we have this thing called the courts by the town hall park, and a lot of blacktops around the public schools in Lyndhurst, the small town that is. She is a rising senior, I should say, and she's the star point guard for the LHS girls basketball team. And also, she's a rabid Duke Blue Devils men's basketball team fan. Uh, we'll get that in a bit, but Carley Martin, Carley with a C. So as it spell it. How are you? Thank you for coming on, buddy.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Just like tell us a little bit about yourself before you go on until like more like other topics and stuff. So
Okay, yeah, perfect. So my name's Carly, like Campbell said. Um, Carly Martin. My dad was the longtime boys basketball coach at LHS. I've been playing basketball since the age of 4. I grew up with the ball in my hand. There's like basketball blood in my veins. It's just the way it goes. I'm a rising senior at Lyndhurst. I'm a point guard, looking to play in college. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of me.
so I know you constantly like watch like high school or college videos on YouTube or like watch TV with your dad. Like, and of course Coach Martin points out like, oh, what this person does, what that person does. When you're a kid, were there any players that you like looked up to or like wanted to model your game after?
So growing up in this house, we're huge Pete Maravich fans. I grew up watching Pistol. I grew up watching YouTube videos of him. My dad and I used to do Pistol workouts together. So that's really who I model and like look up to when it comes to basketball.
That's very good. I mean, I look at my dad, and my dad remembers like Larry Bird, Magic, Drazen, Bernard King, Albert King's brother, and then also like Elgin Baylor, Chocolate Thunder, of course, Dale Dawkins, Moses Malone. I mean, then you said then into Michael Jordan with the whole Bulls era and stuff. But if you look at it now, like, do you like see like any like players that like in this generation, or like probably like say like the 2000s, probably like Kobe, AI, or like even like women's college basketball players, like during the early 2000s, Candace Parker with Tennessee, the whole UConn crew. I know you're a huge UConn women's basketball fan with Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi,
Huge Diana
Rebecca
Taurasi fan.
Rebecca Lobo, of course, with that whole crew, and of course, I mean, you got people now, girls now, who aspire to be those athletes as well. So, is there any like particular WNBA player now, or any current NBA player that like you aspire to be?
Growing up, my game is surrounded by Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Sue Bird, and of course Skylar Diggins. As you know, I'm number 4. 4 is my favorite number. It's my phone's password. Like 4, I live by the number 4. I got that number from Skylar Diggins. I met her when I was younger, and I've been obsessed with her ever since.
So, I mean, out of those players you mentioned, I believe Skylar Diggins shoots left-handed, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yep.
I mean, I see where you get that arc from. I mean, I watched you multiple times. I mean, when you were younger than now to now, I mean, you pretty modeled your game after those 3 particular players. I mean, us guys, we play on 2K, and then we get all our badges on my park, and we go flash pass badge, or Hall of Fame shooter, or like lay a package, or we make all these funny stuff. But I mean, that's good. I mean, so do you know like what you want to like do like after high school, like play basketball, or I mean, if anything, like what's your like career motive? So
So after high school, I definitely am looking to continue my basketball career at the collegiate level. I'm looking at a bunch of D3 and D2 schools that I could possibly play at. I want to major in criminal justice. So I'm looking at schools that have like a really strong criminal justice program and a even better basketball one.
That's very good. I mean, I've looked at some of probably. I mean, I don't want to get your hopes up, but as you know, I did call some D3 basketball games the past year, women's basketball games at Montclair State. Very good program too, and I'm looking forward to do that in the future, both for radio and for on I should say streaming on YouTube as well. So uh, big ups there in the future. Hopefully that quarantine gets through and we'll have some basketball played in the November time. So and we'll get to another topic, and me and you both have it ingrained in our bloods. But I think I remember at a party when I was a kid. I remember Duke was playing that day, and my cousin's a huge Duke fan. I know a couple people are Duke fans, of course you, but I mean, I remember painting my face half blue, half white. You got the D on the face. I go like this with my hand when I was a kid, pretending I was a camera crazy. I wanted to go to Duke when I was little, but I couldn't master that now. But you look at the history of Duke, and you look at Coach K and his 1,000+ career wins, multiple national titles. You look at the teams he's got, the teams he's carried on to multiple Final Four appearances, conference championships, tournament appearances, Final Four appearances, Elite Eights and stuff. I want to ask you, what like got you into Duke basketball?
So my dad is a huge Dookie. So if you even say the word UNC when he's around, it's like really bad. So huge Duke family. My mom's a diehard Dookie. My dad.
I have to cut you off a bit. I apologize. There's certain letters we have to shorten a little bit to talk about North Carolina, but that's I think you should say I prefer to say heck over the other word, but I mean it's known through the GTHC. So you look that up in the Safari of what that means, and you'll hear Duke fans say that. Then they added a couple another words to end it off there. But I'll keep you going with the Dookie conversation. So
Huge Dookie, huge Coach K fan, huge Christian Leitner fan, huge Grayson Allen fan. I love the hate that they get. I feel like Grayson Allen is my spirit animal. I feel like we're the same person. Same thing with Christian Leitner. We thrive off of the hate. We love it.
I think you're forgetting somebody, because there's a guy who has his number retired there, who I believe wears the same number there as you do. I mean, he still plays in the NBA, graduated from Duke, I believe, and he is probably the Duke villain, as we call them, because there's three common goals that earns the right to call you Duke villain. Is one, like, let me refrain. White guy goes to Duke, you get at basketball. That's the three check marks. I mean, if you're all three of those, I mean, you have a right to be hated. I mean, like you said, Christian Leitner. Now I'm saying JJ Redick was a Duke villain. Grayson Allen, of course. I mean, I look at JJ Redick highlights and I'm like, he's the kind of guy that like would get under your skin, but also like know at the right moment to where like he would just like quiet a crowd. And if you look at old Duke highlights from back to 2000s, everyone remembers their rivalry with Maryland when Maryland won the national championship, I believe 2002, and they were in the ACC back then before they ultimately went to the Big Ten. And I mean, that rivalry was insane. I mean, now you look at it. I mean, Duke has been a huge powerhouse for getting top recruits and stuff. I mean, you ultimately get Duke, and you're like, oh, let's just put them down for a national champion. But and it takes a big tough group to get. I mean, they've done it in the past. I mean, everyone remembers 2010 when almost Gordon Hayward hit the half court buzzer beater and just banked off the rim with that Cinderella story from Butler with Coach Pat Stevens. And then you look at 2015 with Justice Winslow, Jaleel Okafor, Titus Jones, and Grayson Allen, of course. He had a great game that night, beating heavily favored Wisconsin with winning award winner Frank Kaminsky. And I think people are writing off Duke because of the whole thing that Wisconsin did the 2 nights before. But I mean, is there anything else to talk about Duke? I know we have a Jersey legend himself, the son of the great coach Bobby Hurley Jr. as well. I mean, the guy was just an animal on the court. He, if anyone watches that E6, or I should say 30 of I Hate Later, I mean, it's like crazy because he would just get under guys' skins and stuff, and not many people remember where the last shot took place when in the Elite Eight send they sent Duke to the Final Four against Kentucky. That was actually in the Meadowlands over here, where we live by. So I mean, that's a great history. So is there anything else about Duke that like captivated you? I guess in a way.
Honestly, that's pretty much it. I just love Coach K's coaching style. I love the culture of the Cameron Crazies. I love everything about Duke.
That's good. So well, I know this might be short, but I mean, we got off a little topic, so we'll wrap it off here for a bit. Carley, I know it was a little short, but I know we could have talked a lot more. But I thank you for coming. I'll give you the final word, I guess.
Okay,
So,
well, thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Campbell, for having me. It was a very fun time. Go Blue Devils.
go Duke. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever it may be. Go do something. It is 90 plus degrees outside. I think I'm currently sweating in my room because no air conditioning, but I'll get that fixed soon. Remember, sports is beacon of light, beacon of hope. This is the Sports Talk podcast. Again, that was episode 9 with Carley Martin, the starting point guard of the Lady Golden Bears. I'm your host, Campbell Dobbin. Thank you. That is all.